Hey family, welcome back to the Calibrate Tools channel. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing because we got some great content coming up. Today we're going to talk about what cement board is and why it's so important to have in those moist areas of your home. Stay tuned, I'll see you right after this. Okay, everybody, when you're doing any kind of tile job, flooring, or countertop work over a wood subfloor or wood base, you need the base or underlayment that the tile or flooring sits on to be as stable and durable as possible. That's when cement board, also called cement backer board, comes into play. The main purpose of cement board is to serve as a backing for tile, and because most of the time where tile is, there's water or moisture. Think of your bathroom or kitchen, two of the wettest places in your home. Moisture or water can be good when you're cooking or taking a shower, but the flip side to it is that it could be not so good to your house when it causes mildew or mold to form in drywall or wood that you may not be able to see, and that can be dangerous. Tile, even with grout and all, is still porous and can let moisture in, so that whatever's behind the tile has to be able to stop mold or mildew from forming. It also has to be durable, able to withstand prolonged exposure to moisture without falling apart or disintegrating like regular gypsum-based drywall wood or wood. Don't get confused. Wood, get it? Anyway, you see, plywood and products that have wood in them like drywall contain organic matter that makes these materials susceptible to temperature changes and the elements that can cause them to rot, shrink, or develop mold. On the other hand, cement board doesn't have any organic matter, making it the ideal base material. Okay, so we know a little more about what cement board is, but how do you apply it to a wood base? We're gonna take this piece of wood right here and apply some backer board to it, but first we need a few tools to cut this backer board to shape. This is kind of big, don't you think? You're gonna need a knife to score the backer board where you want to cut it, and you're gonna need a jigsaw with a carbide blade. Okay, so in order to apply our backer board to our wood base, we're gonna need some mortar, some thin set mortar, okay? So I got that right here. Got a bag of thin set mortar. Got a trowel to spread it, all right? Got some backer board screws, backer board nails, and you can also use drywall screws as well. Got some fiber mesh tape. You're gonna need a drill, maybe a putty knife, some water to mix your thin set if you don't have any ready to use thin set. And of course we need our bucket to mix our thin set. Okay, so now that you have your thin set mortar mixed to a peanut butter-like consistency, you can get ready to apply it to your base. Take your trowel, grab some, take the straight edge part and spread it across your base. So once you have the thin set spread evenly on your base, you can use the notched part of your trowel to comb it through. Now you can apply your cement backer board to your prepared subfloor. You don't want to press your backer boards together. You want to leave at least a 1/8 inch gap between each one. And if there's a wall here, you want to leave a 1/4 inch gap between the wall and the backer board. It doesn't hurt to use a level to place over the seams like that to make sure everything is level. Okay, so now it's time to put our backer board screws in, okay, to secure the cement board to the subfloor. You want to make sure that the screws or the nails are 1/2 inch to 2 inches from the edge of the backer board. So I'm going to use my speed square here, or if you have a ruler or something, if you're against the wall, just use a ruler to measure that line so you can know exactly where to put your screws. I'm going to go 1 inch in. And you also want to make sure that the screws are 6 to 8 inches apart. So thin set is pretty slow drying. So while that's happening, I'm going to go ahead and apply the screws. So when you install the screws, you want to make sure that the head of the screw or nail dips below the plane of the cement board, the surface of the cement board. You don't want any of that sticking up at all, okay? You want it to have a countersink. It doesn't have to go too far in, but it has to dip below the surface. So there won't be any obstructions when you apply your tile. So now we have to cover the seams, the gaps, or the joints, whatever you want to call them, of our backer board layout. And we can do that with a putty knife or this narrow flat part of our trowel. But when we spread our thin set, we want to spread the mortar at least 1.5 inches on each side of the seam or joint. Now we want to take our fiberglass mesh tape, place it over our joint, cut it to length, Then after you press the fiberglass tape into the thin set, you take some more thin set, a thin layer or so, and spread it over the fiberglass tape. So you want to get the edges of your thin set spread as smooth and as seamless as possible as it spreads into the cement board. That way you can have a nice level surface. Just allow it 24 to 48 hours to set and you'll be ready to tile. Now the same principles pretty much apply to putting cement backer board on vertical surfaces like walls or even ceilings. You just have to screw the backer board to the studs, 16 on center, some studs at 24 inches apart, and the walls and the joists on the ceilings as well. If necessary, you can even put a vapor barrier between the backer board and the studs or the floor or the ceiling if you want more insulation and protection from mold and mildew. A vapor barrier can be a thin sheet of plastic to put between the backer board and the wood to stop the mildew and mold from happening as well. Just don't overdo it on the vapor barriers. Putting more than one can actually trap condensation between the two barriers, and you don't want that. Hey, so what do you think about cement board? This stuff is pretty useful, right? If you learned something today, hit the like and subscribe button, share it with everybody, and I'll see you next time.